Are you okay?
Is it going?
I'm good.
It says you're live, and someone's already on.
That was me.
Assuming that's you.
No, it's not you.
It was.
You're watching Markiplier. What's his name?
No,
That's
Mark.
not. What's his name?
There it is.
Is it going?
It's an ad.
Why are you watching ads?
Because he's
Because
trying to make us money. Hi everyone.
Underwear ads.
Nice.
Underwear ads. Stop it. Just kidding.
do it. Do it.
Oh, wow. That's really beautiful.
Every time.
Oh, what a day! What a day!
You know the interesting thing is she's not on camera.
Nina?
Yeah.
She's here, but she is not here.
Just
She's
a
a
little arm.
disembodied voice.
Just a little
A
toddler
little
arm.
bit, but not much.
Welcome
she can be the
to our Dungeons and Dragons live stream. If you didn't know this was Dungeons and Dragons, how did you get here? How did I get here?
How did he get there?
How did you get there? Anyway, so now you're here and you're trapped. So enjoy. And tonight we're starting a new adventure.
This one.
So it's going to be slightly, and and we also have background noises like gulls, different various birds, and wild animals coming from our daughter. She'll be playing the wild animals tonight.
She's a very aggressive colorer.
It's ambience. Anyway, treat it like ambience. Deal with it. We are parents, and there's no way this child will
the
go to
Kraken
sleep.
in the sea.
Yes, the Kraken. Anyway, so one of us has an annoying bird on our shoulder.
It's a dragon.
Pseudo dragon.
She's my pseudo dragon.
Yeah.
What did I name it?
I honestly
It
don't
was
remember.
named something already.
I think it was like Vitra or something. I don't remember. Anyway,
Vital
Vital. It started with a V. I was right.
or Vettel.
I think it
Vital.
was Vital. But
Vital.
Little battle.
Vital sounds better.
anyway, so we have been doing the entire book of Ghosts of Saltmarsh. I did it right.
Salts of
That's
goat
twice in a
flesh.
row.
Salts of goats. Ghosts
Salty
of Saltmarsh.
goat milk.
We
That's
are.
my kind of campaign.
We haven't
Did you
skipped.
say it?
I did
again?
it right.
Oh,
I
good.
did it right this
Okay.
time. And I don't want to say anything else that might mess it up, but I said it right.
Oh.
Anyway, so we've been following the book almost exactly. The only thing that we varied in things is they took over the ship, the smuggler ship, very
Were
easily.
we not supposed to do that?
No. I mean, not necessarily. I mean, it's D&D, who knows? But it wasn't planned. I
Do
mean,
what
it
I
had some
want.
options. They took it over. He's captain. And
That's Captain Dreadclaw.
Captain Dreadclaw. And dreadful he is. And
I
they
forget
have,
who was first mate. Wasn't it? Was it me?
It was
It
you.
was me.
And she was
Quartermaster.
Quartermaster. But anyway,
Masters
there are some
quarter.
things that
It
changed,
was my
which
old
means
job.
the
I know it
salvage. We just did salvage operation. We just finished that. They successfully made it off the ship, and everyone lived. Almost,
Barely.
Nilcio.
almost
Barely.
died. You guys had
Yeah.
some moments where it was pretty dang close,
But
but
I jumped in and I got.
We
I'm,
got-
I'm surprised Nilcio.
I'm surprised
Lived.
you actually lived because there was a moment where you were flying in the air, a giant tentacle
Right.
smacked you. I mean, there was.
Close.
If you haven't watched that one, it's a bit choppy. There's some moments where it dips. I'm sorry, and if we get cut out, I'm sorry. But we're doing the best we can. Hence the bad things about live streams. Anyway, so we completed it. We got the strong box, which had all of the goodies in it, and we took that back. That was off camera. This was off camera. We took it back and returned it. He was very happy to have Emperor of the Waves all of this information about his ship and that it didn't just sink. Love how violent she is.
I told you.
Anyway, it's pretty great though because they could have just easily not gotten their pay. They could have just left the box and probably got away much faster. But anyway, so
What was the other thing? If we'd opened it, it would have teleported somewhere.
there is some
Some kind of a
different,
trap.
pretty intense enchantments on
Yeah.
it that would very very much hurt the person or leave.
Yeah.
And that's kind of just sucks.
Oh, and we almost missed it because you guys wanted to go ahead.
It's true. So anyway, Albrecht, as you return to Saltmarsh, he is sitting in the same tavern, just in his cups, a little bit tipsy.
Albrecht, is he the one?
Albrecht is he has his butler Verteg, the half orc,
Oh,
and then there's
Okay.
Albrecht was the one who gave you
okay.
the job while you were in between jobs. it was kind of a side mission while they were interrogating a Salaheen, which they brought back from the Lizard Folk place, which was part of another quest. Anyway, it's all coming together now because as they get their 10,000 gold, it's
Each?
great. No,
Just
no,
kidding.
not
I'm just kidding. I'm
That would
just
be
kidding.
like 40-50%.
Well, we kind of deserved that.
Well, especially when the giant octopus monster attacked. That was pretty darn close.
Yeah.
But anyway,
What happened to the dwarves?
that is a funny story, and I'm going to tell you that one. Anyway,
Did they make it back?
so Albrecht explained to you how excited he was that you returned with his strong box. He was so grateful. He repaired your ship. And it didn't really need much repair, but you were under attack by Salaheen at one point during your voyage, and
Oh, that's right.
and your supplies have been totally restocked for a few months at sea. I mean, it was a generous add-on to everything. He was so grateful, but he did pay you in full, and you went shopping. You got a wand from a strange fey-like creature that appeared out of nowhere. In one of the shops. You thought they were like a helper, but they weren't. Just came and sold you something and left. And then you got a sword. Did you end up keeping that sword?
No, I would have sold that.
Okay, so he didn't even use that. And then you had a amulet of protection that she was able to get. A ring of protection, I mean. Was an amulet for a second. Anyway, and that's about it. That's all you missed. We just only went over the minor shopping things. But there are some, like, if you need extra, like, bottles of health or anything, there's an apothecary in town as well.
There's one thing I was interested in while we are here.
Go on.
Some arrows made of a special substance.
Okay.
Perhaps adamantine arrows.
And when you approach the shopkeep, who's a Fletcher, he's actually he's kind of the outskirts guy who just goes hunting, but he also makes plenty of arrows. And he says, I could probably get him before the afternoon's out, but I'm going to have to go to a guy I know.
Adamantine are hard. So
Yes.
what I
yes.
looked up online, and I wanted your ruling on this.
Are they like a +2?
Cost, the adamantine versus a suit of armor or melee weapon, or 10 pieces of ammunition, cost 500 gold piece more than the normal version.
Mhm.
We can afford that.
Yeah,
You can. It's a good paycheck. And besides, you can retrieve the arrows unless they're broken.
exactly.
So it's not like
Um,
you can't use like 5 of them and then
Right.
get them back.
Yeah. So I'll probably just,
Beautiful.
since 20 is 1 gold piece, would that mean that if I wanted 20 adamantine, would that be 501 for 20?
I would just round it up to 500.
Okay.
I honestly could say in this part of the world it's very rich in mercantilism. It wouldn't be terribly difficult to find some adamantine ore, so he probably just has to make it.
Okay.
Send it to the smithy. It's a special order.
Okay.
He'll make it with fine wood, but other than that, it's about all he could probably find anyway. I think that's I think that's honestly fair,
Oh, sorry.
since it is a trade town.
Right.
So, anyway,
So take that out of the whatever
the pot.
the party fund.
Well,
there.
if
500?
it's
500.
10,000, I think you're all just kind of sharing.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
we are.
Sailors got paid, wasn't much. It ends up being about 70 gold, which
Hey, that's pretty good for them.
it's actually really good for them. But you did say you wanted to do just a little bit extra to keep them happy. Isn't that what you said?
Mhm.
Okay.
That's
Basically,
that's paid well. Does
Bruce!
well.
I'm sorry. Bruce, we appreciate you coming on.
Yeah.
As always. Fancy old Bruce. Anyway,
And that
is there anything else that you guys wanted?
adamantine
Patience.
arrows, those are treated like adamantine weapons, right?
Yes.
It says whenever an adamantine weapon or piece of ammunition hits an object, the hit is a critical hit.
Yep.
Excellent.
Where did you write down our
Adamantine
stuff
is-
from
Oh.
last
I
time?
made an adamantine sword once. Everyone hated it. Because they thought it way too OP. Guys, it's a wondrous weapon. It's like level 20. Like, you guys... you don't find those anywhere. They're rare.
Give them your level ones.
Yeah, that would be pretty crazy.
+6 crit.
But honestly, guess what? As a DM tip number 1 for tonight, make your monster slightly better or smarter. I mean, damage doesn't mean the end of your boss. I mean, it's just figure it out, guys. Stop crying. Anyway, so is there anything else that you guys need? Are we set to go?
Did you write down my amulet on my page?
I did. It's
Good,
in the
thank you.
bottom section.
just for some clarification here.
Adamantine.
Adamantine. Did I say adamantine?
Adamantine.
Adamantine. Adamantine. All right. Sounds good. I've lost my mind. But we're good, right?
It's okay. You guys pronounce things different than I've pronounced things in the past, and
How do you
that's
pronounce
okay.
it? How do you pronounce it again?
Adamantine.
Adamantine.
Like canteen.
Okay.
Adamantine.
Like a adamantine canteen.
Like the other one. The other one that I've
super hydrated.
always been a little bit curious about.
+2 hydration.
The other one that I've been,
Critical
always been.
hydration.
The other one I've been a little bit curious about, but I've never brought up, is how you guys pronounce arcana.
Oh.
Everywhere else
You
it's
say
pronounced arcana because it's arcane magic.
Mhm.
So it's neither here nor there.
It's like a
but
tomato.
exactly. It's neither. I know what you're talking about, which
I
covers
watch
the
a
point
lot of
language.
British people, so
Yeah.
they say arcana. I mean, that's the way.
Yeah,
It's
it's okay.
Yeah.
I'm not. We're okay. Hey, hey. We're okay.
That was too intimate. No. No.
It made me uncomfortable before you did it.
How much did we pay the crew from that?
So much. 70.
A piece?
No, total.
Okay.
Guys, the line for what makes me uncomfortable, like for
Yeah,
normal
no.
people, is here. Me, we're like over there.
All right.
Thanks a lot.
So, here's what happens. You're in the market, doing your shopping. You finally get your weapon. You get some little arrows brought to you, and they are beautiful. They're sharp. They basically testing them draws blood. I mean, they are just like super sharp. This guy did a bang up job on them. And as you're in the shop and you kind of all are traveling together, I assume. No, actually, I don't think you would be in the. You guys like, okay, we must go to each shop together, or are you all separated doing
We're a
your
little
own thing?
codependent.
Are you codependent, or are you shopping separately? That's important.
I don't know.
Well, I think it would depend on what everyone's getting.
I don't think people will want to go with me to find a wand.
Hey, while I'm waiting for my arrows, I'll go around with you.
Hey guys, I'm gonna go look at some sticks.
I think I just need to go spend
I'll
some time
stick
in
with ya.
nature.
So she goes off and kind of communes with the ocean, essentially.
Ooh. One. Oh, I'm gonna look up one other.
And I should note, when you pull into the port, and you see some strange creatures, humanoid in nature, but they're definitely strange looking because they're not from around here.
Oh.
But they seem to be in great number.
I need to figure out this pipe of remembrance that I got.
Pipe of remembrance.
Sounds
Back
like a
in
forget
the-
me stick.
I got in the
Over the
in the smugglers.
Is that
And
it?
then the yellow topaz. Does that have any like value to it other than the gold? Like,
I mean,
thing?
to certain people, it might cost more.
I know, but what can
But-
I use it for besides sell it? It's not like Skyrim where I can like use it to like enchant things or.
If you get creative, I can definitely make it easier for you to do certain things. But
Extract the soul
as
and
far
imbue it.
as far as what it costs is really what it's worth.
Okay, that's what I did then. I
Okay.
traded that in.
Okay, so as long as you're keeping track of
It
it.
said 600 gold, so.
When
Also,
when the pipe is lit, smoke exhaled from it does not dissipate, instead lingering around the bearer. After 10 minutes, smoke forms moving shapes and reenact the bearer's most impressive and heroic achievements for 5 minutes.
that's
Do I have to have a special kind of like?
Just
So it's like Gandalf level smoking.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm keeping it.
pipe can't be used this way again until the next dawn. So basically, shows off your awesomeness or some particular.
I'm really excited.
You can just
about
like
that.
while you're all sitting down, she's just creating this monster attacking the ship.
This time I fought a
Did you keep
octopus thing.
Mark? Did you keep the cloak of
And
protection
it looked right at me.
that you got on the ship when you found it when you did the looting?
I don't.
What? Because you
No.
found it all.
I did not. I didn't keep it.
What is the cloak of protection?
Cloak of protection?
I'm just doing some
No.
bookkeeping here,
Yeah.
guys. Making
It's
sure we're
probably
using
exactly how
the,
it sounds.
the fun
I'm
things
pretty sure
that
it just
were
gives you a
Plus one
plus
AC.
one. I'm pretty sure it is. I just looked at it.
+1 on.
Yeah, +1 to AC and saving throws. It's the
Oh.
exact same thing that you have.
Okay, I have a special amulet. Who needs a higher AC? Do you?
Mine's okay. Mine's
I
a
think
17.
Yours,
and
oh,
most
I think
of
yours
these-
is a
yours
17.
is the lowest.
Well, then I guess I could
Okay,
use it.
all right.
Do we need to trim it? Do I need to take it to a tailor?
Yes.
Or can I just pin it up
I
halfway?
suppose you could, but if it comes free.
It's
I
okay,
guess I
don't
would
worry
take
about
that
it.
to a tailor to
It's
fit it.
Okay, so that's what you're doing.
It's okay.
All right.
Don't worry about it.
So
She's like worried because she wrote the page.
I also. I'm having a hard time
I'm sorry.
finding. I'm having a hard time finding the cost for some cold iron arrows.
Cold iron arrow.
Are you planning on fighting some daemon?
Hey, you never know.
I got it here.
Your other arrows that you did, they were 500.
It's a rare iron left over the creation of
Right?
Kala Plains
That's what I wanted to verify as well.
from the elemental chaos. Ooh. Okay. Cold iron weapons cause an extra 1d4 damage to Fey, undead, or fiends. It also counts as a magic weapon against the creature's purpose.
That's exactly what I read too.
Holy crap, guys.
Including the little octopus
Yep.
bubbles. Squid bubbles, whatever you want to call them.
I've been working on my fish
Right now,
nautical sounds.
We have 13,981.
That is so much money.
And then 199 silver.
And that
This
doesn't-
is the most money we've ever.
That doesn't include the 700 that I keep on my person,
No, and it doesn't
as
probably
well as
include
whatever he would have. Yeah.
whatever I have.
Dang, guys.
I don't know where my money is. Where's my money? 600.
I keep coming
I
across
hope
3
nothing
point-
bad happens and you lose all of your money. I'm just kidding. I wouldn't.
It's
do
in the
that.
bank.
It is. Put it in the bank now. The bank went bankrupt. Oh, dang. I'm just kidding.
No,
That would be horrible.
our money is
I'm sure
in
you guys
the
would go on a
bank.
killing spree.
Except 799
We
we kept
want
on the
our
ship.
Saltmarsh dies.
We
I didn't
kept
say.
799 on the ship.
Yeah. You what?
We kept 799 pieces on the ship,
All right.
There you go.
just in case.
Yeah.
So, we're sad.
Is there anything else?
We
'Cause
really
this is
carry
important.
600 pieces of gold each. Or 700, that's crazy. Like,
Can
just
you
like
imagine?
That's so nuts.
Sneaking. There should be like disadvantage for X amount of coin.
So it costs about 50 gold. 100 gold piece per pound. Of worked metal. So what would you say on that? 100 gold piece per pound.
If
I'll bet a
an
pound
arrow,
is probably like 5 arrowheads. I would. For
Well,
iron-
it's
for
wrapped.
iron.
It's not solid that way. It's wrapped in a
Because
cold
it's-
iron wire.
because it doesn't exactly
Oh, okay.
shape as normal iron does.
So I bet it would be like 10, maybe 10
I would
arrows.
say I was gonna give it about an 8 or 10. So go with 10.
So we'll go 10 arrows. So take off another 100. You want to verify that 500 gold for adamantine based on what you thought?
No.
Okay, I will. Because it could be less.
You just have a lot of money right now, and I'm not saying that that's not important because it can when you don't have money. It's very important to check before. But that being said,
Well, that's about right.
math.
Okay, we'll just go with that.
Alright.
So I've got a set of adamantine arrows and a set of cold iron arrows.
I would also like cold iron 1.
Just in case you want to smack someone with
Yeah.
it.
Mhm.
No,
And I also want a tuning fork.
that can be arranged actually. There is a local musician.
Are you multi-classing in Bard?
No. Somebody on the ship's got to be a bard, though.
Someone's got to seduce the Kraken.
It's not my job.
Did we decide how much gold?
Yeah, it was 100.
Okay, 100 and then 500 for the
Yeah, based on what I saw.
what was your other?
Adamantine.
Okay, I don't remember. Isn't that the same thing that Wolverine has?
Yeah.
Okay, I always ask that. Okay.
Adamantine.
Adamant.
Like turpentine.
Oh, I still have so
Turpentine.
much
Turpentine.
money. I'm gonna
Serpentine.
pick up
The serpentine belt.
some things that I need
Okay.
but I don't. I have
It's
to find
special for
the
dragons.
list. So can we just?
Valentine's Day.
You
that
just
later.
tell me
English
what you
is
found
weird.
before we
Valentine's.
get to where we're going. You
English
can't be
is
like in the
weird.
moment.
Thing
Hey, I
is,
bought
those were
this.
probably all
Just
accurate
like
ways of saying it.
components for spells.
I don't think there's.
You can just say you bought components and it's about a gold. Honestly,
See?
components are
There we
not
go.
expensive.
I even
Your
put it all the
components
way
are
over
I
there.
know. I have a problem.
This is actually why we're here. We're not actually here for D&D tonight. This is an
We're not.
intervention.
He flips the DM screen and it says,
Mark, we're
Intervention.
worried about you. Everyone has our letters attached to the back of the screen.
Wait, about what? I missed that.
About
I
his,
can't stop
his
messing
fiddling.
with this thing.
his
I
fiddling
fidget.
and puns.
I fidget about. I fidget with everything. I keep
and your
Like,
looks, and your diet.
5 pens at my desk at all times at work so that I can just take them apart constantly, all the time.
That's me when I get nervous. I rip pens apart.
That's very clever.
Interesting. All right.
She poked a hole in it.
So-
but it's just putting the.
As
crayons
you
through it.
are.
I like it. Yeah. Ooh.
Okay. So, you're in the town. You're doing your shopping, picking out your various items. Very excited at the weight of coin that you are now currently dealing with. It almost makes you nervous how much you have. In fact,
Probably should put some in a bank.
there is a good deal of people, and your sailors are already spending it off in the pubs. Very excited to just.
I think we should have a talk with them about
They're
They just dealt with like a Kraken thing.
Oh, I know that. But
Are you-
afterwards, we should talk to them about investing.
Are you
their
saying
future.
Real estate.
Are you
boys.
implying that these are publicly traded funds?
They sure are.
Like, we should tell them that they should get their own bank account, and they should be, like I said,
They can
invest.
start their own fishing
We
vessels.
have to have fiscal
Exactly.
responsibilities.
Well, they can't depend on the
Invest
sea
in real
forever.
In their minds, forever could be tomorrow. So, COH.
Really, on our ship?
Well,
Yeah.
they've seen what you can do, but they're definitely ready to get sloshed. Anyway, so they're already in the pubs. I mean, when you arrive, but the thing is that word traveled fast.
Pissing the night away.
Everyone heard what you guys just did. You just found a ghost ship. That you found some like demon creature aboard. Things have been exacerbated and.
You mean exaggerated?
No, it's been worsened.
Oh.
There's definitely just like this big group of people that are like, at first they were kind of jealous and now they're like, almost vehemently angry mercenaries that have just been
Oh,
watching.
they hate
it.
us
Yeah,
because we're a
and-
special group.
Yes, because you guys have gained the favor of
The
the
special
council.
subs-
They send you on
Exactly.
special tasks. You've been doing all sorts
We're
of
the
stuff.
favorites.
You're kind of the favorites of the town. In fact, your fame, if it was in a 1 through 10, which it is, I would say you're at like a 7. And everyone knows your name, but there's people that revere you as these mighty heroes, like heroes of old. And it's a really interesting thing because if you really think about D&D, there's not many. You guys are like the ones that just like, sure, I'll go and fight giant monsters, and everyone else is like,
So it's
no,
like
I
fun.
want to stay in my town and never leave because everything outside is scary. But anyway, people like you, but they're exaggerating your stories. They are making them bigger. So, like for instance, the orc that you found that was a druid, people think it was a demon, and I mean, there's all sorts of stories going around. But when in your shopping, people are just like in awe. They give you like little bits of discounts, and they ask you to talk about their store. I mean, there's like this, like, oh, please talk about me. I'm very excited that you're here at my store. And
Are they making us sew patches into our clothes?
there's not sponsorships yet, but you're definitely there. Anyway, sponsors are great.
They're like we have like embroidered things on
Yeah,
the car.
that's what I was thinking.
The
It's like
Arcades.
NASCAR, we're all covered
Yeah.
in like.
Lobster biscuit.
Goodness. Oh no, no more. We
Is
don't
this-
want lobster.
Is it playing smoothly for you? It's choppy for me.
It looks smooth on mine.
Okay, then it's fine. It's just my.
I just refreshed it though. Let's see.
Because my internet's doing.
Oh no. Is it not?
Let me go see what it has.
It says it's still going. I mean, just saw you get up.
Yeah, it looks smooth on.
If we're choppy, sorry. We're trying to get that fixed, but read between the lines, I guess, the best you can. We're doing what we can. Thank you for watching anyway.
Looks good. Yep.
Despite the choppiness, we appreciate those that actually watch. There's like a good 30 of you that are consistent, which is pretty awesome. Anyway, that being said, you are brought together. There is a town meeting, and it's not just a council meeting, it is a town meeting. There's a large bell in the center of the town that starts to ring loudly, and many people start rushing on, and you're all shopping, and Oceanus turns to one of the stall people that he was talking to, who just starts leaving. He's like, "Where are you going?" And she's like, "Well, there's a town meeting. We have to go right now. And anytime that bell rings, it means something urgent requires all of our attention." And she starts running off, and he comes and finds all of you and brings you to the town meeting. Do you go with him?
Yeah, because haven't we been waiting for this town meeting?
Assumingly, but you're not exactly sure. As soon as you, let me just say, the outside is packed, the inside is more packed. You can't even get in. I mean, there's just people.
Sardines.
It is just, but like,
Really?
it goes up. It goes up like there's different like tiers to this council room, this high council room, which is very large.
There's a lot of room around their knees. I mean,
It's really weird.
they're shoulder to shoulder.
You're like, just kidding. And you can barely hear what's going on inside, and then suddenly people start turning around and looking at all of you, and it starts like partying. People like kind of getting out of your way, and so all of you start to walk in, and you see the council sitting there, but they're not just in their work attire. They are in robes. They look like they're official. Like they're ready to work. Where before it was kind of like a rush, like, hey, we need this now, you know. But this is like an official thing. You get there, and you also see some lizard folk who are sitting at the table as well. And they are from that tribe. They are not, you haven't seen them, but they have like very like big headdresses. They look very official as well. Probably not something they'd wear into battle, but
The ones that we invaded their town,
yes. Yes.
and we didn't kill any of them.
You also see a single
We didn't fight
merfolk.
like at all.
Yeah.
You see a merfolk person sitting there. She had trouble getting in, obviously, but she can breathe air. It's different from typical. Well, I guess merfolk can breathe in other stories. Anyway, so she's sitting there at the table.
Does she have a tail?
She does.
And she doesn't need to have water?
She doesn't.
So she's just sitting there and her tail is just there?
Well, I mean, it's under the table, but when you move into the room, you can definitely see the shimmer of scales going down there.
So cool. Okay, I want to be a mermaid.
Good luck.
Next campaign.
And you also see a couple strange.
Why not?
A couple dozen things that were outside.
I've already got a name for
In
a
the
group
ocean.
in a campaign full of mer people. Murder hobos.
You're going to say that.
Anyway, so there's also some other people there from like tribal looking creatures you never actually met. But they're all just sitting around and they're waiting. As soon as you walk in, Ariander begs you to come forward, and there's a few people that are.
Whoa.
He's
Is he the young one?
very excited.
Is he the young one that he was flirting with the last
That's a
time?
bad omen.
Eleander?
It's an omen.
No, he's one of the people who fought in the army.
He's not
the
the
guy with
young.
the injury to his leg. his
Oh, he's
left
not
leg.
the young one that he was flirting with.
Was that
No, that was
Anders?
Anders. Yeah, Anders Solmar.
Somewhere. Yeah.
And he, they're there as well. Despite the differences that all this council has, I mean, people, if you learn more about them, they all kind of hate each other in one way or another for various personal benefits of mercantilism, piracy, and other reasons. But they're all together, and they all are very excited and nervous. And there's definitely that, like, you walked in on a fight kind of feeling as you walk in. There is some arguing going on, but as you walk in, it's apparent that there's a nervousness about it. As soon as you step through the door, Ada Oland, if you remember her, she is standing
I
up.
remember her.
She's standing up. Everyone else is sitting. Ada was the one who originally gave you the quest,
She's the mayor.
so to speak.
I
She's
wrote
a-
mayorish.
She's the senior member of the town council.
She has a key around her neck.
She's
These are just
rough
things
and
I wrote down.
pragmatic. Anyway, so as soon as you enter, she bids you to come sit down. There's actually a few chairs for you.
Whoa.
Fancy.
Wow.
And as soon as you go and take a seat, there is a hush that falls over because everyone's like murmuring as soon as you enter the room. You guys are like, you're decked out, you're ready to like your battle. Like you guys look awesome.
I bet that was all started by the mer people.
That's what I was thinking.
Anyway, so Ada explains. She opens her statements by saying that
Don't murder me for taking your job.
everyone knows about the Sawagin, and as soon as she says it, of course, there's murmuring, and
From the mer people.
from the mer people murmuring. And there was a harsh
Sorry,
wind
everybody,
and
that's
storm
Murmuring
outside.
about murder.
It was a
Can't take it from her.
dark and murmury noise.
She's having a lot of fun with
She
it,
is.
but it's really loud, I'm sure.
It is. It's all right. And she says, "We have been dealing with our kind more recently. Some of
Okay,
you
Okay.
have lost your homes." And she points over to the lizard folk, and they nod. And she and some of you have come into some information that they're a threat, and we need to deal with this threat. And and a couple of the council members start talking to each other quietly, and someone speaks up and says, "Well, how are we gonna do with this? How are we gonna deal with any of this? We're just a bunch of fishermen." And she says, "Well, we have some aids. The lizard folk tribe is willing to help us, and the merfolk are willing, and they've been attacked multiple times. We have some means, but we don't know their strategies or their defenses. We know where they are, we just don't know much about them." And so she's explaining exactly, it sounds like she has more information, but she's kind of just doing the bare minimum. And then she turns to you group, the group.
Because it's the public's in here,
Yeah,
right? Okay.
yeah. So she's kind of re-explaining everything
Okay.
to everybody.
And doesn't want to tell too much.
Right.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay. There's one point that it needs to be made. Okay. From the Sawagin that we were graciously brought from these adventurers and heroes, we have been able to extract information with our mage to find out that they mean to attack, and not just attack, but eradicate us and begin a new phase of attack across all of the land of the coastline. And everyone starts murmuring, and they said, "Sawagin don't attack on the land." And she says, "If you had seen what we saw, you will know that they are planning much more than that, and we need the help of everyone to stop it now and kill the Baron and Baroness." And
Is that the leader of the?
yeah,
Do you have a DMG?
Mhm.
Can I borrow it?
yeah. Have it right here.
Excellent.
Anyway,
This is everything
So-
I was looking for.
and this is when she, looks at all of you, and in that moment, she looks at you. She's got this kind of grin on her face,
A
and
wink
she
and a
says,
nod.
"I think you know what I'm about to ask you." She says, "We need a reconnaissance team. We need someone to get in, and we need to know exactly how their numbers are, who's all of their leaders and see if we can find a way to attack them effectively. Because in 30 days they're going to attack us. We mean to attack in 14.
Yeesh.
Sorry, I'm allergic to salt water.
No, seafood isn't my thing. And she's looking at all of you. She's waiting for an answer.
It's like the whole like I've been turned into a cow. Can I go home? We just almost died. From a, was it a kraken? Was it a kraken?
No, it was something else.
Oh, it was something.
It was almost
Giant
as
squid or
dangerous.
something.
Almost as dangerous.
We never found out.
Says the captain.
Let's say the shipmate's crew.
It has nothing to do with the crew. It's just about us. What we want to do, right?
So you're kind of leaning in and talking to each other. Okay.
I think maybe we need a little bit more information before we commit. But we all know what we're gonna say.
It sounds like they want us to assassinate somebody.
And
Well, they
she's-
said reconnaissance.
And Anders, the youngest, he stands up and he actually gets up on the table to walk over to you, and he actually sits down on the table in front of you, and he says, "Just ignore everybody. Do you actually want to do this? I know we've asked a lot, and I feel like there's an obligation, but there's no obligation. But that being said, if we don't do this, there's a good deal of people that will probably die. I could send a group of soldiers, possible mercenaries, but I don't trust them. And I think that if we all know that if we pay them beforehand, they won't come back. We've had some experiences before, so if you are willing to, we would be more than happy to compensate you, of course. And any losses or damages, of course, we would pay in full." So he's actually offering something, not just asking
You want
for help.
information or you want an assassination?
We definitely just want information, but if someone crosses your way, by all means, one less Salagin.
I mean, if it's an assassination, I mean, you just have to tell us.
It's like you've got a specialist in that field.
He says, "We don't know much about what's going on in their base, but we do know that it was the lizard folk camp. It was originally their fortress, and it is large, but it has been submerged, most of it. There's pockets of air probably within, but there's a good deal of Salagin inside, and we need to
See,
know how
that's a
many."
concern of mine. I don't breathe water.
But guess what?
No, don't. Make them figure it out.
So you're like, "Wait," and you're like, he says, "Well, of course,
I'm really excited about that.
well, of course we can manage to get you, I mean, they're expensive, some water-breathing potions, at least 3. I mean, it's probably
It's 3 each.
How long does that last? How long do those last?
That's,
like an hour, I believe.
and so I'm supposed to swim down there, look around, and come back up within an hour.
Well, there's a big
We did
chunk
find
of it
one
that's
those.
above the water.
Oh,
So-
I see.
So, I mean, think of it like an anthill sitting in the middle of the water.
That's how I was imagining it. Isn't that so weird? Like an underwater anthill, but like Atlantis-like.
Do we know any anteaters?
Xanthar's Guide. May I borrow?
Yes.
No, I haven't.
Ha
I have all the things. Anyway, but anyway, he says, well, of course we'll cover that, but the important thing is that we need to know what kind of entrances we need to cover, if we need to go by sea or by land or both,
Can you get in there?
how many are going to be coming out of one end, if we can distract them, draw them out. Any information would be valuable because otherwise we're throwing ourselves at nothing and we don't know. We're not soldiers here, and the Empire does not care. We've sent all sorts of inquiries and questions, and just these soldiers are here. And you do see the original soldiers that you had basically told to kneel to you,
Oh, be shamed.
that you shamed. And they're looking at you, and I don't think you noticed them when you walked in, but you've actually realized that this guy has been staring at you the whole time.
Hopefully he's noticing that I'm looking more and more sickly every day.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, that someone would ask you if you're okay and up to the task.
Oh, I'm fine. Yes.
You don't look fine.
I'm so sorry, guys.
Oh yeah, no, it's.
I'm sorry.
No.
I've
It
been
was
going
just
through
a
some
light. It
changes,
was
but
just a
I'm
light.
fine.
Oh, it wasn't that bad. It adjusted immediately. So you're okay. Well, if you're okay, then of course, we just don't want to put any strain. You just came back from a very harrowing adventure. I understand that you fought demons and all sorts.
It's confirmed. That what I found.
Oh, good.
Adamantine.
Okay.
I found it. I just
Yeah,
had to
there-
find the right book that it was in, but it's there and
Yeah,
goes right.
500 gold
Yep.
more than
And
the small version.
add auto. The thing I was more concerned about was the auto critical. The critical and there's a hit.
Well, of course.
Anyway,
All right. Well then. So Anders just asked if you're up to the task, and so you know you've been.
oh, I've been listening too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I haven't been not paying attention.
I need to know.
I've just been paying
it-
slightly less attention to both.
Information gathering mission sounds fine to me.
I'm okay with that. I find that to be an acceptable task.
And so with that, he stands up and he turns, and you can see the charisma just oozing from this man. Obviously confident enough to be uncouth, just in a situation where most people would be very like, oh, you shouldn't be doing that. I mean, he's standing on a bloody table. I mean, he's like, and he looks at everyone and says,
He's a yet.
there is a chance that we could win this, but with them, there's an even higher chance. And everyone
Someone
cheers.
die on the table? It's a bloody table.
So he stands up. He's standing up, and everyone begins to cheer. And of course, everyone's very excited. But you all are the ones going.
What is our band of heroes called by the
You-
townspeople?
You
Since they're
do
cheering
use-
for us.
I'll tell you later. It's not very nice. I'm just kidding. No, I can definitely get something for you.
They'd probably call us Crew of the Ravens Nest or
The
something.
Ravens or something like that. Anyway, so with that, council meeting adjourns. Everyone starts walking out, patting you on the back as they go. Some people are just like very horrible breath, like fishermen who are just like, super excited to just be near you and like, hey, heard about what you did. It's really great. Just like excited. And then you are alone with the council. Is there anything that you want to ask them before?
So the information that you do have is there's some form of leader.
Yes, from what we've gathered from the Saladin, who has now met his end, he had some information that basically there are a few people who are very important within this place that if we kill them, we have a good chance of routing the Saladin, but they're probably not going to be right in front. We need to know their chambers, information about at least a couple of them, because if we can either capture or kill them, we can probably sway the tide of the battle before it gets too out of hand.
Then let's go.
But there's Baroness Seklas and Baron Kepmak.
Those are the Sawagin
Mm-hmm.
that we're going
And
after.
there's a high priestess and a blade master, but that's all they can
You
do.
wrote all this down, right?
Yes.
I'm going to
So
intercept.
Baroness Seklaz, Seklaz,
I'll just copy it off Billy later.
Do this one?
and Baron Kepmak, and it's Kepmak. That's all that they were able to get. Unfortunately, I rolled for it, and they did not get more. But there's a few others that
And then
are
they
very
killed
important.
him.
They sure did.
He did.
Well, by the end of it, the interrogation, he was pretty much useless.
That's when you heal him and bring him back to life and then kill him again.
No, that's like a Baskin Bruce move. What do you know? Where are they?
Let me.
Actually, I used something
Right
similar.
here, right here.
I used something similar in my Pathfinder 2 game. We
Oh, so
hunted
you're
some of
knocking it, but you're doing it. I see.
Yeah. No, I wasn't knocking it. I was
Your
saying that's what we
character
was
was.
doing.
All right,
You put it on here?
Demetrius would be so.
Give us our bearings.
All right, so the lizard folk bring out a map, and they show you on the map exactly where the stronghold is. and they explain to you that that it's very easy to find. You just go along the shoreline, up the shoreline, and it's in an inlet, and you'll see it.
So we go north.
Very.
So
It's
it's
like a
attached to the
northwest.
main body of land, or it's
Never eat soggy wheat.
Eat. You are a
What
outlandish
keeps?
and strange.
Is that my phone?
Somebody's
it's not me.
phone. Here you go.
Hopefully it's not David's.
It's not even on the table.
So, you went to the lizard folk lair, right there. Saltmarsh is right here. You went across here, and that's where you were. That's where they used to be. So it's out a bit. You can go by land and make your way in, or you can go by sea and then take a small boat in. Those are your two options. But they gave you information that gives you a good bearing of both, that you could find a way in easily. Kind of, they're semi-secret ways. They're not like the highly guarded routes. That being said, there is a very good chance you will be spotted in this mission, because it's just the way it is.
I prefer to go by boat.
You do have a boat.
We had a nice boat. It's a nice boat.
It's a nice boat. It's a nice ship. Are we still on?
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
From what I saw.
Okay, I just double checked. I refreshed it and it went to commercial, and I'm like, wait, what happened?
I think boat is probably fine because I mean we don't have to get right up there.
You also
Like,
have the
we can-
backup of your crew on your ship.
Mhm. Yeah,
I don't walk very fast.
that's true.
That's all I was thinking about.
All right, approach by sea, is that the unanimous
Wow. I like
C.
sea? All right. So
You would understand it's Sawagian language.
So Ada comes up to you one more time and she says, "Okay, to be clear, this is exactly what we want you to do. We want you to determine the strength of the Sawagian force, how many warriors, if you can, lieutenants, and other battle-ready troops. Locate important areas within the fortress, if you can, where the warriors are barracked, the officers' quarters, and possible leaders housed. And discover any significant defensive measures, like traps, areas ready specifically for defense, because they are known for that. They are known for being crafty.
And if
And
we
very
happen
aggressive.
to get the opportunity to, I don't know, murder the leaders, I'm guessing that won't be frowned upon.
Kill anything you see that you can.
Excellent.
So
In fact, there's victory points for possible things in the future that can be very increased by it.
there's no way that we can go through all of those rooms and not kill everything in sight.
There's a good chance if you do, you'll die.
Oh, okay.
She says, from what we know, there are many. And our whole town and a bunch of other cultures nearby are all going to converge on. They probably will kill a lot of us if we don't know more information, because there's so many of them. So be careful. Now, many of them are out raiding. So there's a good chance that they're all out. But there's also a good chance that they're all in. So be very
so
cautious.
we are trying to figure out the numbers.
As much as you can, general,
Okay.
and how advanced the Sawagian preparations are, because they've never done anything like this. They're at sea. They live under the water. But this one is slightly above water in many cases, and they're planning an attack on the land. So they're doing something, so it's different. So anyway,
That was playing in my head.
that's
too.
what they want you to
I
do.
knew it. I saw it in your eyes.
Oh.
All right.
I swear, if we get there and the Sawagin are singing Under the Sea, I'm gonna leave.
They better be singing.
If you're on like shrooms, maybe, but no, I don't think so. Bring the shrooms. All right. So you get into your ship. Unless there's anything else you want to do before you embark. It's like in a video game when it says you cannot go back from here.
This is our last save point.
Yes, essentially.
Oh.
Is there anything else you need?
I am happy with what I have.
Okay. Prepared? All prepared?
That's what it was.
You
Okay.
have your adamantine and arcanus.
Arcanas.
And
Right.
My
have-
Arcana
I have my
Adamantine.
components.
Oh gosh, if you enchanted adamantine. You just just kidding. I'm really pushing it. All right. So anyway,
You could.
Very beautiful.
you
It'd
get
be expensive.
Oh, I
you
like
could
it.
yeah, it'd be very
Want to show
expensive.
Dada?
You get inside your ship. Your crew are a bit tipsy, but they know that they were on more of a standby. That was the first day. You've been back like a day and a half.
Yeah, they're still recovering.
But they're recovering, but they're ready to go, you know. And as soon as you get on and everyone looks at you and they say, orders, Captain.
Set sail north.
North is not the best route. Where are we headed, Captain? He knows that area is very dangerous.
That's precisely where we're heading.
You heard your
Here are the
captain.
coordinates.
We're headed to danger then.
Get my whip. Just kidding. That's not
And
kind
so
of real weird.
He starts shouting for the men to get swords ready and spears and javelins and they start actually like mounting for war. I mean, it's not just like a trade. It's like we are possibly going to get attacked, more than likely attacked along the way.
See, you pay them well.
So some of them are really spirited
so funny.
warriors.
I love it.
You might say that, and you might, yes, very much so.
At least we have a sharp crew. They're on the cutting edge.
Set a chart for northwest, and so everyone starts getting the sails ready, cutting the jibs, swabbing the poop deck. Now that's already been done.
Did the
They're ready to go though. Your ship immediately catches a good wind and it starts to head north.
Senior Crow's Nest Dark Elf? Did he's good?
It was a bad recovery, but he's doing okay. He immediately was taken. He had
To a
many
healer?
broken bones.
I see you.
They set him and he's doing all right now. He's just a little bit not used to being saved. So he's got that
Did
like
he come with us, or is he? Oh, okay.
Nilzio's here. Yeah.
Nilzio.
But anyway, they're all
Oh, I love it.
pretty confident. I mean, like they've been with you guys through a couple things already and seen what you could do. So they're like, "What? You can't be much worse. I don't know where we're going. It's a very dangerous area, but we have these guys that can pretty much shoot anything, kill something, make everyone run for their lives." And so they're trusting you. So the journey north isn't terribly long, but it does take you a couple days of travel. It's pretty not rough seas, just a bit choppy, and it's pretty high wind, but that's pretty good because it's in your favor. So you've made some pretty good time. But as you arrive closer, they offered to give you a keel boat that you can take in when you get closer. Something a little bit bigger than little rowboats
A
that you
kill
have.
boat, you say?
Keel boat. It's large enough that you can. I mean, it's got one little mast in the center, but it's also got some oars that you can
We have that?
move along. It is on the back of like trailing behind your ship instead of
Whoa.
instead of like a little rowboat that you all
we
just
have
cram into.
such a cool ship.
I mean,
has
it's not. It's
everything.
more like a rented keel boat, but yeah,
Oh.
it was one of the fishermen that was like, "Take this with you."
It's a rental.
Yeah, it's a rental.
We've not kept the.
I doubt it will come back. So, as you arrive near the stronghold, you basically you can see it in the distance at dusk, and with the red sky and the orange in the sky, it's kind of this foreboding, jutting out peaks in the center of this inlet, and it's a bit scary now that you're here. You know that like we're gonna go save the day, but as soon as you see it, you just have this lack of knowledge. You know enough, because the lizard folk actually came with you. They're on the ship, but they're not going in. They're under strict orders to tell you anything you need to know about the lair as much as they can, but it's been vastly changed. They know that because they had changed other things and they'd seen it, ones that had escaped. So I mean, it's different on the interior than it was before. So anyway, all right. So the fortress stands before you, and as you get closer, now is the time that they drop anchor, and you are ready to enter the keel boat, and they start pulling it up. And as you get into the keel boat, which is much smaller but definitely still large enough, It's actually been painted dark blue, and it will do well for a nighttime operation. So,
I'm glad to be on this boat. I'm in the mood for some killing.
I mean, like at one point, people are gonna like turn to Key and be like, "Are you scared of anything?" So, who is going with you? This is
Well, I
very
guess-
important.
Key is on the keel boat,
Probably just Oceanus.
ready to keel some
So,
stuff.
We
so
wouldn't be-
Doric stands above and he says, I bid you well, Captain. If there's anything you need, of course, I'll be standing on board, guarding the men. If there's anything, obviously, signal us. If
Dorkin's
anybody
not coming with us?
We probably should take them out.
Yeah,
No, you always have him take care of the ship. Do you want him to come with you?
he came with us last time.
No, he
He stayed
didn't.
on the boat.
Oh, that's right. He was the only
He took
one.
care of the boat, yeah.
What? He came
You
with us
said
last time
if
before.
you guys die,
Captain.
he will be captain.
Yeah.
That's basically the thing.
Yeah.
So do we keep him on the ship or do we take him with us? Because he's pretty handy.
Who else is coming with us? It's us three.
And then Oceanus.
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 Anyone else you want? It's a pretty big ship. But that
Definitely-
that being said, the more you have, the more possibility of error. But
Yeah.
then the more you have, the more protection. There's really.
I think the four of us should be good.
Okay.
See, Nelcio's probably got some pretty high dexterity.
Yeah, but he's still recovering, isn't
Yeah.
he?
No, he's technically recovered.
I think.
I think just the four of us for
Yeah.
this time.
I mean, Oceanus will be good because he is a water elf, and so that could be helpful.
He can breathe underwater.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Hey, I cast breathe water breathing. What is it?
when you get closer, or like right now.
No, it lasts 24 hours.
Oh, okay.
Is that a cantrip?
No, it is
I just
a
wanted to get
level
free
3
potions.
spell.
Oh wow.
Out of the
What?
deal.
Yeah, you did.
Isn't it
There's
underwater? Isn't it underwater?
a good portion
Yeah.
of it. Yeah.
I am gonna
Does
have
that
one of
cast
those
on
on me,
multiple
just like
creatures?
worst case
Yep.
scenario.
It can
Where
up to, I think, like 10. So,
That's excellent.
And you all have dark vision.
mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Okay. The dark vision gang goes. So the keel boat is released, and the lapping of the waves and seeing your ship kind of go away in the distance, because they actually head off a little ways further. But they're on high alert, like they're waiting for a Salagine attack, and they don't want to be like right next to the place, like, hey!
Come and get us.
They definitely will be
Neener,
attacked.
neener,
There's a really high chance of attack, and you
They're
know
leaving?
this. They're not leaving, but they're not going to stay right next to it, and they're not right next to it. They can see like in the distance this little peak,
Hmm.
but you guys are moving in closer, and by about 9, I want to say like 9 p.m. give or take, is when you get close enough. There are some. You were told about a cave entrance that once provided the lizard folk access to the lowest level of the island caves that has been completely submerged in 80 feet of water. You're gonna have to swim down 80 feet. The stone causeway that previously led from the shore to the cave entrance now lead to a new set of stone doors built by the Salagine.
What kind of armor are you wearing, Alston?
Padded leather,
I was thinking if it was something heavier, we
Metal.
could just toss you over and just let you sink.
like a stone.
Yeah. Because that's what I'm planning on doing for me.
Well, we all can breathe underwater,
Mm-hmm.
so we're good.
Water breathing.
Okay. Good luck. Alright. So, it is dark. The only light is of the moon, and that's even at like a crescent, so it's not very much. Which is actually for your benefit. There's not much light at all. Your boat's moving quietly through the water, and you lower the sails, and you slowly row in the rest of the way. And then it begins. So you've arrived. It's an island. It's jutting out, but you got to the point where they said that you should stop and you should swim down. It's a very nerve-wracking thing, knowing that there's probably Salagine swimming in the water below you. It's a
Yeah.
good chance.
Well, if we don't make it out of this, it's been fun.
You can't really speak underwater.
Oh, are we
So-
underwater?
No,
Oh.
I'm just saying
I
you.
thought we were still in the boat.
Oceanus does mention that. He says, if there's any signals you want, we could probably do something about that. And he's like trying to think. Looking just kind of like frustrated because he's like
But
trying to
if
imagine what
if we can breathe underwater, then it doesn't matter you would be able to hear because the sound could transmit. It's just not air. It's coming out of us.
It would be difficult to understand if you're not right next to them. But yeah.
Interesting thing about water is sound actually travels, I think, 3 times faster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And we gotta be quiet.
So everything's like if you snap underwater, it's actually pitched 3 times higher.
Yeah.
So we gotta be
Kinda
quiet. No talking underwater. None.
But there's not gonna be big bunches of air bubbles if we talk. or-
And it does travel further too. Sound travels way further
Oh,
in water than it does.
I
in air.
forgot to mention. I was about to forget, and I'm glad I didn't. Oceanus hands you a spear.
Me?
Yeah. He says your whips aren't gonna work under there. Can you imagine?
But you know what does work really well underwater? Arrows.
And
Quite.
wands.
And especially ones.
Oh, I'm
It's
still
like it's
keeping my
magic
whips.
or something.
We'll be on land at some point. Yes. Yes.
There are places within.
Okay.
Yes, it's not going to be complete underwater, but he's giving you a spear.
Oh,
It's
okay.
a 1d6,
Spear.
but it's important to have because it doesn't have disadvantage. Where yours would have like double
Yeah.
disadvantage.
What's my attack bonus on it? 3?
It would be in this case strength or I think dexterity. No, strength is your. I think so.
Oh, 'cause-
Yeah, total. Your proficiency bonus is now a 3 instead of a 2, so it'd be +4.
Oh, +4. Is that on all of them now?
Yes.
Oh, you didn't change?
I changed everything but that. All right.
And you wrote them in pen. That's why.
I made a big mistake.
I've made a huge mistake.
I also like to live dangerously. Anyway, I have the underwater combat ready, and here we go. I have that all the stats and ready for
Well,
that.
that
So
means that it's ready. It means it's gonna be happening.
Let's do this.
Brum, brum, brum.
Okay. All right.
so as you're
Can we stealth underwater?
not really.
Okay. Just
Just see.
Just not bang against the walls as you go.
are they sliding? Oh, they're sliding down my arm.
All right. So you see a rocky exterior as you're getting closer. It's a natural formation that was made into.
Are they
You can see
bouncing?
that they've dug like all this area out, like way more than it was before, because it was already in the water, but it was like knee deep in some places. Now it's like really deep. They've been really fortifying this place, getting it ready. It's definitely their hub, you know, like they're ready to make this the focal point of most of the battles or war, whatever they're planning. But you head into the north entrance.
North.
So as you're swimming down, you see that this area is not exactly the spot, but it's close to. It's hard to determine. But as you get closer, you do see an area that is underwater.
Do we see any? So sorry, guys. Do we see any creatures? Any? I can't
Yeah.
remember how
Roll
to
roll
pronounce it.
perception.
If you wouldn't mind,
I wouldn't.
go back and tell me what it is that we're looking for, just so I can have it written on the list
Yeah.
of things we're watching for.
Determine the strength of the Sawadin force.
Hold on.
So how many people there are and what kind?
Some
Strength
kind of number.
Of
Lieutenants, bigger
force.
people, monsters, whatever they have.
So we
Okay.
can come back with they are 1 force, and that would be an answer.
Locate important area. Anything you don't get affects the battle. And it actually
Locate
has stats.
Important what?
Locate important areas within the fortress, like barracks,
Areas.
officer quarters.
And they're planning on
leaders.
attacking this.
They're planning on taking it down.
So we need to.
It's very aggressive.
Why don't they
might-
just blow it up?
Yeah, right.
Where's
Fireball
bombs?
over.
Yeah.
Go find someone who can do that.
Yeah.
Just get a bunch
Alchemists.
of wizards with fire. Yeah.
Alchemists.
What are we doing here for? Let's go and do
Let's go
that.
hire a
Come
bunch
on.
of wizards.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're rare, guys. This
Locate
isn't like
important
every
areas.
year.
Next.
Next is
I'm sure we can find some
discover
crazy
any
wizard
significant
somewhere.
defensive measures. Significant is the key word. If there are places completely trapped, they want to know. So we're not losing a bunch of people.
Discover significant what?
Defensive measures.
Defensive measures.
And then lastly, discover how advanced the submarine preparations are. How and when they're going to mount their first attack. They have an idea of about 30 days, but that could have been a lot.
Hold on, my brain stopped working. How advanced?
Yeah, how advanced they are.
There you go. There's a slide.
How advanced their what are? Their
Their remember.
AI.
Yeah, advanced their preparations are that they might mount against on their first attack, and when. Because he gave a number, but it was like 30 days. But honestly, it could have just been a lie. It could be tomorrow. You know what I mean? They want to know when, because they're planning 14 days from now to get everyone totally ready, and with the preparations that you give them based off your intel. If they don't know something, that they're just gonna do their best, which could suck.
Okay. So back to perception check. I rolled 15.
Okay. So as you're swimming, you do notice a few sharks swimming in the water, but they don't seem aggressive at the moment. They're
Do
just.
they have lasers?
laser beams on their heads?
Sharks are freaking laser beams. No, they don't. In fact, they're just pretty normal, and actually they're quite small.
Nice one.
Lots of fish.
I love Willy Wonka. That's such a good movie.
It's a good movie.
Right.
Yeah, you are here still.
Okay. All right.
That has nothing to do with that reference, but I just love that movie. Good one.
Okay, so you actually you make it there without any hindrance. You do see dark figures way off in the distance, but they're honestly too far away to get any good bearing of what it might be.
Dark figures in the distance. Did you get that?
That may or may not have seen you, but at this point, it's kind of like
Small sharks.
I'm sure everyone knows we're here now.
All of China.
Right?
okay. So as you swim down, there's this little lip that kind of sticks out a little bit from this area, and you swim down underneath it, and it starts to go up into this like tube, and it's very uncomfortable as you're moving up it. And as soon as you get to there's this little spot where it starts to level out, you actually can come out of the water. It's under the water, but it has air in it. There you can't really see much. There is a very low, faint glow by a very large door, stone.
If anyone makes any Gungan jokes, now would be the time.
I'm not saying you'll have disadvantage or problems, but
But your character
bubble
will
place is so
definitely
cool.
die.
Just saying.
So is this a bubble or is it a cave?
it's a cave.
Okay. I was seeing a cave.
Does this seem like it would be like the main entrance? This is
Absolutely
like a
not.
side entrance.
This was a entrance through the water back in the day, but it was not used very much. They've definitely fortified it though. It was not stone before.
So other than this, does the tube continue off a different direction?
Nope, this is
Okay.
one
This is
entrance
the only
kind of
one.
way.
Okay.
You stand at kind of like a
Ooh.
rocky ledge, about 30 feet wide. Ahead of you, set into the vertical rock surface, is a pair of large stone doors, each 10 feet high and 5 feet wide.
Wow.
The surface of the doors are featureless and no visible handles from where you're at.
So.
Can we check and see if this door is magic?
I want to look for traps in the room before we approach the door.
Okay. No, if you're doing like a check in the room, I want to do perception.
That would be a 16.
Does anyone have detect magic?
No.
No.
No? Okay. Well, I will roll a perception then. And holy crap, 21.
Oh, nice.
Not here.
You notice a good deal of footprints in like the sand and the mud that's been moved in and out of this place. It's very trafficked, this area, especially recently. There are 2 guards kind of sleeping / awake over by some rocks. They're not huddled together, one's on one side, one is on the other side.
Are they wearing armor?
They are wearing stuff. It's just like seaweed and
Oh.
gunk. It's like
I wear clothes.
flotsam and gypsum. It's just like stuff. You know?
Is there any way to get the way that it looks? Would you have to go by them to make it pat into?
The stone doors don't look like shut, but they're definitely they can be barred. Like you can definitely tell this is made to withstand a force. But the moment it doesn't look locked, does that make sense? Where it's just like slightly ajar, even a little bit. With your high number, that's what you can notice, that it's not completely shut. But if there's a good chance that if you cause a problem too soon, they might shout and shut it and cause more problems for you in a cave.
Then it's probably I'll kind of lean and just kind of confer with those of us that are there.
You're kind of above, by the way. You swim in, it's kind of above a little bit, and it kind of slopes down, and then there's the door.
Is there a good way that we could
If you hug
that
the
we
walls,
could stealth past them without them seeing us?
there's no way past them.
And there's only the two.
I know what you're saying. You could like get through the doors if someone were to distract enough to get them kind of search a part of a cave. I mean, you could, being creative. I mean, you maybe could get past them.
How far apart from each other are they?
Well, since the door is 10 feet high and 5 feet wide, so
no,
they're about.
because you said there's two doors.
So there's
So
10.
That's
like
what
each
I
are
mean.
5
10
feet.
feet.
So they're about 20 feet apart.
They're 20 feet apart.
Yeah,
And
but
they-
they're not doing anything. They're kind of just sitting there bored out of their mind.
Is there a different cavern that like is going off in another direction, or is this
From
like
right
the
now,
tube
from
in?
right now, you do not see any. This is kind of a rectangular room.
Oh, I think I have an idea.
Oh, not rectangular. It's let's say 5, 10, 15. They're about 20 feet away from you, and to the side of you, there's about 10 feet. So there's not much room where you're at.
Uh-oh.
Your pseudo dragon speaks a strange language.
Of course.
Can I roll a? Can I?
It's draconic.
I'm so excited to see what you guys magically do or all die. This could be it. I mean, honestly, I'm not going to pull punches.
Can
I
I-
don't
can
want
I-
to kill you all, but if it happens, will you be angry at me?
No. Can I
I'm
roll?
going to play fair.
No.
Okay.
No. Can I roll a? Perhaps like a wisdom or a survival, which is based on wisdom, about analyzing this room for
Like
a
tactics?
good tactics.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for doing something other than like perception, because there's so many
It
things.
would be
to
a
do.
14 on a survival check.
Based off of what you see, there are some large boulders that have been pushed off to the right side of the room. If you manage to hug the wall and were to move sneakily, there is sand and mud, so it definitely will cover much of the sound. But that being said, towards the rocks, it does get a bit more loose gravel. So there's a good chance that, because they did some stone work in here, what they didn't use, they kind of just pushed off and then
So this is
pushed
like
down.
out of the water.
This is
Yeah.
out of the water.
So we came up out of the
alright,
water,
just
and
making
now
sure
we're
I
looking,
imagine
and then
it's
now it's
correct.
sloping down.
Slightly, yeah. I mean, you are confident you could probably kill one of them pretty quickly. But the other one, if they didn't kill them fast enough, you would probably shut out and locked and trapped. Because if
I
they sounded
could.
some kind of alarm, you're stuck between a tube that could be full of Sawagin trying to kill you. You know what I mean?
I could
It's
always
dangerous.
try
it's
a
not.
hold person and then we just kill them and then go in.
Forget. Do you have? Don't. Is it in this one that you have silence, or was that the other one?
That was
Brave.
That was your cleric. Yeah. Okay.
I know. I like
Yeah.
always think that I have like
Silence
it's
is
great,
so
but
wonderful.
I don't have.
Sleep or silence is a really good way to start your way.
I have
Um,
hold person.
I have deafness or darkness,
Ooh, deafness. That might be.
but they are too close to each other for darkness to affect both of them.
Okay.
But would deafness affect
You
both
want
of
to
them?
slide?
I think it's a single
Okay.
target. Let me look that up.
Well, I have made
You're
a slide. I
close.
don't know why you're
Blind.
mad.
I think it's under blind.
It's because like
Oh,
she
yeah.
entertains like that, but then like she gets to the point where it just makes her mad. Gosh, toppers are so hard.
Blindness, deafness.
Choose one creature. Yeah.
So I mean, I could deafen one while we kill the other.
Or you could blind one.
Okay, what are you saying?
We're just discussing tactic.
I think we just need to make a decision and do it.
Yeah, I think we should. I vote we sneak down and try and get through the
Yeah.
door and.
I wouldn't want to blow a 3rd level spell that
Yeah.
quickly, but
I have something.
She has something.
I have something, guys. Hold on.
All right.
Oh, can I have? Where did Xanathar's go?
It's. I handed it back.
Okay, stop dropping things. I'm sorry. I'm so distracted.
It's
with her.
okay.
It makes it
Don't-
hard for me
Yeah,
to.
don't
wait.
worry. It's
yeah,
totally fine.
I can at a 3rd level I can target one additional creature, so I could do
Okay, I'll get it.
I could do
Hold on.
both.
Do you want to spend both a spell, a 3rd level on both, or do we want to? Because we could try and sneak past first.
Yeah,
I have
yeah, we can do that.
magic stone, which is kind of like a sling type thing. It's a ranged spell attack, so I could we could always distract them and get them away from the door.
That's what I was thinking with an arrow. Like I could just fire an arrow in that direction. That way, it's not the use of a spell slot or anything.
Yeah, it's falling down because you're pulling it down, you
But
weirdo.
could the problem was there's not like a side passage that I could fire it down and
Well, but what about the water? Okay, because we're in the water.
we came out of the water. It's a
Okay.
tube that we came out and it's
We're on a
down this
ledge.
way and it kind of
And there's
opens.
nowhere that we can hide.
No, we can sneak along the wall. How we're
Okay.
gonna start is sneaking along the wall and then we're gonna go from there. So we're gonna sneak along the wall.
She's getting to the point
Okay,
where it's going to get
so
crazy.
if we sneak and we could always get a magic stone. Like I could always shoot a magic stone out the way we came and make it sound, or an arrow,
Yeah.
and make it sound like there's somebody coming up that way, so they can.
But then that could alert them and they could go in and bar the door.
That's true. Well, let's just sneak
Yeah.
then.
I say we stealth past.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do it. So.
All right.
You want us to roll
Roll
stealth? Okay. Oh my gosh.
I take it that was bad.
I am the knight.
19.
I was waiting for that. All right.
It's an 18 for me.
27.
Whoa! What? What did you roll?
A 19. And I have my dexterity score is a 20. So I have a +5.
Oh.
I'm proficient in stealth, so I have a +8 rolled a 19. Holy crap.
All right, and Oceanus rolled a 13 plus 3, so you move all very quietly. Thank heavens along the. Let's try to be quiet as long as we can. Anyway, so as you start moving along the side of the wall, you do notice that the gravel does give a bit, making very, very small sounds, but you are all very prepared.
It's not echoing.
No, you move very quietly along there, almost as if you weren't there at all. And
Are we able to get past them through the door without them seeing?
it is not open enough for you to bolt through unless you were to be invisible, because they're both standing there, kind of not talking to each other, but in like a very dazed, quiet, been standing in one spot for way too long type of way.
The question is,
One
do
kind
you
of
want
like
to
croaks
cast
a bit.
blindness on both of
One
them?
kind of croaks
I
a
can.
bit and starts scratching. He has 4 arms. One of them just starts scratching like his gills, and the other one kind of like chuckles a little bit, and that's about it.
Because if I deafened both of them,
You could blind both of them and then
I
we could
could.
just sneak by.
yeah, or I could blind one and deafen the other, depending on what direction they're looking. But
But if you blind both of them, we could just sneak by and just go through and then they're none the wiser.
yeah, except they'd probably make a lot of noise from going blind.
No, that's fine. Because
Hey,
it's just those two.
hey, guys! I have something called Druidcraft that I haven't used yet.
You also can turn into animals too. Never used that one.
I
She did once. Remember
That
the
has
lizard
the
folk?
lizard folk.
That's true.
I can create a tiny harmless sensory effect. Oh, never mind. It predicts the weather. or
Wait, can't
manifests as a golden orb.
Don't you have like
Or-
minor illusion
That's
or anything?
distracting.
flower blossom, or never mind. Oh, falling leaves, a puff of wind,
Yeah,
sound
that's
of a small
distracting.
animal,
If
Yeah.
a
or
puff
the
of wind or
faint
something came through a
odor
cave
of
that has
sun.
Golden
wind.
globe.
I instantly light or snuff out a candle, a torch, or okay, what can I do with that?
Be great.
Are there
Distract
torches?
'em.
Are there torches in here?
Okay.
No.
There's bioluminescent algae.
Algae.
You could do like a puff
Either
of.
way.
You could do a puff of air up towards the top to see if we can.
In a
distract
room that
them
shouldn't have
sometimes.
air, that would be jarring.
All right.
I mean, that would be
So
quick.
we,
That's a
we're
good
close
point.
to them.
I
So
probably could do something
what
with
way do we
thaumaturgy
want
too.
them to go?
I
Do we
didn't
want
know.
them?
That's a good one.
Is a
And
great-
that's
What?
a
What?
that's
He
a
has
cantrip,
thaumaturgy.
isn't it?
Yeah, cantrips.
Yeah.
Thaumaturgy's
Okay,
amazing.
here we go, guys. This is what. Let's
You
do
can
this.
use your powers together.
Okay.
By our powers combined.
Captain Planet.
So do we want them to go up the tunnel that we came, or what do we?
No,
want
no,
them
no.
to
So
do?
we've snuck down. He's looking
Hold
up.
up. This is an unlocked door.
Yes.
I can cause it to instantaneously fly open. It's unlocked.
Okay.
You said it's open,
It
right?
is open.
So what? We distract them, get the door open, and go in,
The thing
Well,
is,
the
like,
door's open. It's
slam.
cracked now.
but not enough for
Yeah.
us to slip through.
That's probably too much.
Didn't you say it is? Like,
It's slightly ajar, meaning they have people going in and out of it recently.
But you said it wasn't enough for us to like slide in unnoticed.
At the moment, it's not,
not
open
unnoticed, but we could get in if they were distracted
Oh.
elsewhere.
Mama.
The way I picture it, and correct me if I'm wrong, David, is it's probably a jar about this much, right? So we could kind of
I
slither
would say
through,
if the
but
doors
not.
are stuck together like this, it's like this.
Oh,
you can
it's
see
that
that
close.
it's slightly cracked open. You can see like through it a little bit.
Oh, okay. So like enough
You're
to get
gonna
your
have to-
hand
You're
through.
gonna, yeah. You're
But
gonna
here's
have
the
to,
problem: if you open up the doors that quickly, what's on the other side of the door?
Smash two.
Oh.
I
Is it
mean,
open in or
yeah.
out?
You don't know.
Well,
One of them slightly askew. It could go either way.
Or one of each.
Yeah, true. It could go like
oh,
this. Maybe they got fancy.
that's weird.
Probably not.
All right, we need to make a decision here. So
Let's distract them. Let's just distract
All right,
them. Go in.
so
Yeah.
I'm going to send a puff
You
of
are
wind.
very close to them, so this is all like. It's
Yeah.
whispering really quiet. Those that
So
couldn't hear.
where am I sending it?
up towards the top, so that
Okay.
like a little puff up towards where we had started to catch their attention
Okay.
and send them up that way.
Yeah, and then I'll.
May the dice be in your favor.
I don't.
Do it. Execute.
Do I roll?
Action. For that?
Yeah, I don't roll. It just.
No, it's just you do it. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So a puff of wind
Are they sleeping?
suddenly begins out of nowhere, and it just starts swirling, just goes up in the air, and the Sawagin just kind of stop for a second. I mean, they weren't doing anything, but just kind of leaning on their tridents, and all of a sudden they just feel like something move in the room, and they it puts them on edge, and one of them pulls out a javelin, the other one has his trident. He starts like moving forward, and he starts clicking and smacking, making strange language essentially towards the other one, and the other one kind of just like stands there. He walks over to the area where it began. So now
It was up towards the top
I know.
where you did it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, they start kind of looking and they start like moving up a little bit, but he's staying pretty much right there. The other
We
one
probably
is at the
just
door.
need to kill him, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one is going off
They are
towards
smart.
us. One is going off towards us.
No,
Or away
going
from
up to the
us.
top.
He's gone a little
We've
bit
snuck
past
along
you,
on the side. One's going up towards the top.
which
Oh,
isn't
okay.
much room. It's like 15 feet,
Yeah,
20
it's
feet.
not very far.
You
So
guys
snuck
just
across
very
the room.
carefully came
Can we
in.
sneak up behind the other one and
We're already kind of behind him. I could just
Then
fire at him
You're
right
pretty
now.
close to him.
do it?
Then I'll
You're all
I'll-
within
Do it.
movement speed.
Then I'll
Okay.
knock
Just
an
do it.
I'll
Even
knock
you.
an adamantine arrow and shoot it at him.
Bless you. Good luck.
Me.
Nina, crush your fingers.
I need to get to.
And I am going to actually
Oh, she
try.
is doing it. She's trying to.
I'm
You're
going
so
to try to time thaumaturgy when he
Once per
fires.
turn.
I'm going to try to time it for the other guy, so that he hears a rumble of thunder at the same time.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah,
Perfect.
sort of like distract him
Kind of
from
like
hearing
above towards the
it. Yeah,
smart.
yeah.
Well, here's the good thing. I have assassinate, So
Sure
this
do.
this guy has not acted in that, so I have
Oh, you're the one with
advantage.
that special skill.
That's right, I am.
The rogue.
Rogues are crazy.
Wait, what are you?
Fighter
he's a
and
fighter.
I'm a
rogue.
key.
I know, but I
I'm a
always
fighter
ask
rogue.
if you're a rogue, and you always say
He's
no.
more fighter than rogue, but he's
At this
very
point,
close to rogue.
Alright, so I'm gonna fire at him.
Basically assassin.
Oh gosh, oh gosh. Whew. Okay, so that
Is
is
that good?
that's a
Is that good?
27.
Oh, okay. All right.
Is his armor class more than 27?
He has seaweed.
So that would
I'm
be
not even going to answer that one.
8
Yes, of course.
Yes, he's made of adamantine actually.
He's
6.
his
Oh, which
scales
makes
have
that
been
a which makes
Is
since I
that
hit
metal? I can
which
use
makes-
sheet metal.
which makes since I hit it makes it a critical.
Sure
How are
is.
we handling criticals at this? Do you have a crit chart?
I do indeed, sir.
Which means I will roll. That is a 75, sir.
Okay. Let me scroll down. I love your character so much. Alright, 75. We have.
Are we still going?
We are. I just checked it.
Wait, what level are we now?
7.
Alright. On the crit chart, you have obtained excruciating damage. Reroll all 1s and 2s and 3s on your damage roll for this attack.
Gosh.
If you rolled any 1s, 2s, or 3s on the damage rolls.
You know what? Just for the sake of this, no, I'm not gonna use this. I'm gonna do just these 2 right now because it's
So if you roll any 1s, 2s, or 3s, you gotta reroll them.
okay.
Which can be great.
Is he fey, undead, or fiend? Oh no, never mind.
Neither.
That was it. That was a different set of arrows. Okay, so that's 17 points of damage.
Shoot.
Is that after you doubled it?
Oh, is that on top of me doubling it? Do I double it as well?
On crit?
It's done against you guys. If that's what you want to do, then yes. If they
crit.
crit you, they can do crit chart and double it. It's up to you guys.
Yeah, sounds good. That's what we've been doing.
Risk
the
it
whole
for the
time.
biscuit.
That's
34.
Isn't that what we've been
That's the
doing
way
the
I've
whole
been
time?
playing.
30.
Take all
Yeah.
my damage and double it. That would be 34
Where are you shooting them?
in the neck, like in the upper chest.
It stops his heart so fast, he doesn't have time to make a sound, and he just slumps into the sand, dead instantly.
Might I do the same for the other Sawagin?
You're still not an initiative.
So yes, I
It
would like
essentially
to.
is he kills them while we sell them through this place.
I would like to do
Better you
that.
than any of the rest
As
of
I-
us.
Right?
Since I have assassinate, natural
What am I gonna
20.
do?
That is an
Again?
actual no.
Oh,
Crit
It's
chart.
actual natural 20.
So I mean, it's not like you can double crit, but I guess.
So
You
let's do
can.
that.
All right, what is your?
91.
Oh gosh, I know what that is already. Well, it rends his armor completely, so he's reduced by 2 hits AC essentially.
That'd be 30 points total.
He also falls dead immediately through the heart as well.
see,
Yep.
we just always
Just-
should let him shoot.
Just 2 arrows out of the darkness just kill both of
Hey
them
guys,
dead.
I can turn
We'll
into
do-
an
we'll
animal.
We'll just distract him and he can kill him.
That's actually not a horrible plan.
No, it isn't.
I'm gonna at this point. I'm just gonna walk over and just pull my arrows out, wipe them off in the sand, resheath them, and then we'll walk. And then we'll go to the door.
Sea creatures are in this area.
Starfish.
These are brutal.
Lots of various fish.
What about giant seahorses? Because that's one of the standard beast forms that they list. A giant seahorse, guys. What is that going to do for us?
Put a saddle on it right away.
You can make your own babies.
Do we
Anyway,
want to call it good?
It's the dad
as we enter?
it carries
Yes.
the babies.
so
He
I
doesn't
will
make his own
describe to you
babies,
what
so
you
it's not-
see, and then we'll go from
No.
there.
Okay.
No, the mom just goes off for a while,
Seahorses are
which
not
she
asexual.
deserves to.
All right. As you open the doors, which are pretty heavy, actually, they're about 5. They're not 5 feet. They're about 3 feet thick. They're like thick doors. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like
Yeah, so not 3 feet. I'm sorry.
I was like, that's like the same size. That's Mina and Henry.
Stop me when I'm getting close.
No, I'm sorry. It's like
Start
a
again.
foot and a
I
half.
missed
It's like a foot
18
and a half.
inch.
So it's like
That's
this
the other
thick.
arm.
And so he starts pushing it, and it's pretty heavy, but it moves along quite well. Inside, you see a bare, very just sparse room.
Oh, I thought you said bear like an
Yeah,
animal.
that's what I thought
And I was
too.
like,
bear.
It's like a bear.
The sea bears.
A werebear.
I was like, guys, finally I get to use speak with animals.
The secret weapon is sea bears. Anyway, no.
SpongeBob.
Ahead,
I will
ahead
turn
you
into a
see
sea bear.
a short corridor of the room ends in a closed bronze gate. To your left, a single stone bench runs along the east wall, and to your right, on the opposite wall, hangs a large metal gong, which is a good thing you were quiet. A short metal bar leans against the wall below it. Several Sawagin glare at you, and they move to attack.
Oh,
You came in quietly, but that door is not supposed to open without some kind of
when you say several, what, 4?
several.
7. 7.
I believe it was 7. Yeah.
Okay, so
Oh, gosh.
because several is not a specific amount.
It's not. You're absolutely right.
It's like between 4 and like 9, I think.
Let me get the exact number. I'm pretty sure it was.
So is it 4 or is it 9?
It's more than a bunch. Less than a legion.
In the world?
Not more than we can handle. We will distract them. You do the work.
I will
Kate.
just blind them all.
Yeah, let's do that.
6. 6 Sawagin, 2 Sawagin Coral Smashers,
I
and
turn
1
into-
Sawagin Champion.
A sea bear.
Oh, I'm sorry. There's 2 left
Okay.
because you killed 2 of them. So, yeah. So there's 6 total.
I can be.
Sorry, 7 total, exactly. I'm sorry, because you killed 2 of them. And
So there's 5
there were
left.
9, yeah.
Oh, there's not.
I
Oh,
can be
There were
safe
9.
as
left.
tiger.
So 7 left.
1 is a champion, and he's huge. So, anyway, we'll pick up there next time, and it's going to get spicy. So, if you're tuned in, still, good job. I'm proud of you. The dancing that's going on behind is definitely worth its own video someday. We'll just do a music video, Dance with Mark, Sweating with Marky Mark. I'm sure that's actually already a video. But anyway, we appreciate you so much for watching. This is going to be the last ones of this.
Ones.
There's probably going to be a few more.
Knowing the way we play.
Well, we're actually doing pretty good. It just, that would have, yeah. Anyway, so thank you so much for watching.
We agonize over every little
Yeah.
decision.
You know what? We did all right. It only took about 20 minutes to enter the door. Thank you for watching. May your rolls always be natural ones, just not natural ones. We'll see you next time. Bye.